moving crazy right now. And I would want to see the chick that you dating or your baby mama to compare her to Jazz. Because if Jazz looks is not up to par, then surely your baby mama must be bad. And I don't mean that as a diss. When I see a baby mama, your ex-wife, because I'm not disrespectful, bro. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And if it's coming across that way, then I apologize. But you must be telling me that your baby mama, your ex-wife, she gotta look, she gotta put Jazz to shame. Now, you know what? Let me leave all that shit alone because I respect Fantastic, man. I don't want that nigga on my ass, bro. I don't want no smoke, man. I'm just doing content. I'm just a bitch ass nigga.
Hey, you didn't have to cut me off in the first place, but it's cool. Let me get back to the conversation. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's either way. So like I was saying, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, okay? Listen, again, none of that matters. If was a fifth, brother, I try to keep counting how many times you said if and I lost count, brother. It just is what it is. You even again defeated your whole point when you said, hey, there's give and take in anything. Okay. The give and the take is this. No matter how good your fucking ideal is, if there's no money behind it, it's useless. This is why people sell their intellectual property. This is why people create great things and then fucking Tesla comes and buys it up. Or Google comes and buys it up. And as you said, to a lot of these points, it's some real.
So it defeats your point that rich people create things, right? It's wrong. Rich people don't create things. Rich people own intellectual property and they profit maximize off those things. I learned that at Central Michigan University because I was actually a double major in computer science and finance. But during my finance years, my first 3 years at Central Michigan, I took all my finance courses and I was admitted into the School of Business. During that time, as a finance major, people will always ask me, what's the difference between finance and accounting? What's the difference between finance and whatever other math or whatever business money type adjacent major, right? I would tell them finance is about profit maximizing, right? It's different from basic econ or studying logistics, for example, right? Studying pipeline logistics or pipeline management. Those things are different from learning how to take an idea and make money off of it, and to take an idea and the profit maximize off of it. That's part of the reason why I believe I do so well on YouTube is no matter what happens, I'm able to bounce back. And like I said, I thank God that YouTube put me in a position where I can come back. That's why I'm not allowing too much cursing on here, not doing too much. I just want to give an honest review. Fantastic is wrong here. Without the ideas of the people, a lot of those billionaires would be fucking poor now because they wouldn't have nowhere to reinvest their money. It's just that simple. When you look at people like Donald Trump, when you look at people like, fucking Elon Musk, for example, these individuals, Elon Musk didn't create Tesla, he bought Tesla. Right? There are only a few individuals like Steve Jobs actually created his company. But if you know about his story, Steve Jobs didn't code. Steve Jobs wasn't a programmer. Steve Wozniak, who was a co-founder of Apple, one of the few co-founders of Apple, he was the brains behind Apple. Nobody hardly mentions Woz ever. They always talk about Steve Jobs. There's a reason for that. But again, I'll talk about that in a different video. Fantastic. I would like for us to, instead of arguing, to make authentic points. That's all, bro. Let's go.
Sharking shit that goes on out here. It's some dirty shit. They got people, Meta did it with somebody else to where they stole somebody's code and they turned around and said, hey, we tried to buy it for him, but since you didn't want to buy it, what we'll do is we'll just make a copy of your code, just a little bit different so you can't sue us, and we'll put your ass out of business. So, brother, I got all that covered. But again, this whole thing where you're going to blame the rich without the rich, okay, there is no fucking middle class because the middle class has to work. We don't have a barter system. We're in motherfucking capitalism, okay? And communism that everybody wants to see in the fucking run to has killed more people.
It doesn't put everybody out of business when somebody take an idea, Mr. Fantastic. And again, because I brought up Ring Camera, I'm going to give you an example of how what you're saying is untrue. The reason why I know that's untrue is because let's go back to Ring. Everybody now has camera systems. Me and my family, we have a system called Vivint, right? Vivint, Vivint. There's ADT. There's Simply Secure. There's Ring, of course. Then, of course, I like Google cameras, and I like the cameras by start with an E. Oh my God, they look so nice. But the Google cameras are fucking crisp, right? What it does is creates competition. And competition in a free market is always a good thing. The more competition there is, the more products there is, the more opportunities for those products to meet the customers. A few years ago, people didn't want to buy Ring. People may not want to trust Ring because they say, you know what, I don't know Ring, but I do know Google. I do use Google Drive. So now I can save all of my security cameras to Google Drive, to Google Photos. I use those programs already. I'm able to use my Samsung and connect all of my apps directly to my security system, right? I'm able to connect Samsung and Google's ecosystem to my security system, making everybody safer. We want to create competition in the market at all times. Imagine if Apple was the only company that sold computers. Imagine if HP was the only company that sold computers. We wouldn't even have this operating system known as the Mac operating system, right? We wouldn't have the iPhone. We'd be stuck on Linux RAM programs.